Hi guys, T here for an update vlog. I've been away for about 2 months now. I thought I would stop in and see how everybody was doing and give you some updates on the channel and stuff like that. So, what have I been up to lately? I've been relaxing, mostly, like I promised that I would, and, enjoying my open weekends, doing some creative stuff, as you've seen on the channel, things like that. I've got my little paper here so I remember what I was supposed to talk about. I went and saw Captain Marvel and discovered the monster that is Brie Larson. My God. I went and saw Avengers Endgame. No spoilers for the first couple of weeks or whatever, but, stuff like that. I've had time to go out to the movies and sleep in and do things like that. So my health and morale has been going up very nicely. What else? I went to The Source Comics and Games yesterday, which is a really, really big game store here in Minnesota. I think it used to be like a gymnasium or something like that, the way the building is shaped, but it's like this warehouse-sized freaking game store. I met a fan there once. He knows who he is, but it was the first time I was ever recognized as a YouTuber. It was really wild. We were there buying props for the Terrible Bard video, the little mini movie I made, and I had a basket full of like set dressings, beds and bookshelves and the tavern scene and all the rest of that stuff, and a bunch of things that I needed to paint. And somebody's like, TheWriter, or your T, or something like that. I was like, oh. So that was neat, getting recognized out in the wild. But yeah, I went there yesterday to find some other stuff. I actually came home with the Waterdeep Icons of the Realm Dungeon of the Mad Mage set pieces. So there's like bookshelves and props and dead bodies and neat like laboratory stuff, so you can imagine what that's going to be for. I'm putting together another episode of The Terrible Bard, which may not come out for months, so don't get too excited, because it takes a while. But I think The Terrible Bard was like a year ago, 2 years ago, and I'm just now moving to a second part. God. Anyway, it's a lot more money and a lot more work than you can imagine, and YouTube doesn't exactly pay the big dollars, so it's more a labor of love than anything else. But that's what I was doing at The Source. What else? I've been reading a lot. You can see I've got my bookshelves set up. It's not just the little bookshelf down in the corner anymore. I've been reading a lot of graphic novels lately, American graphic novels. Lock and Key, because everything Joe Hill touches turns to gold. Monstrous, which was too dark and violent and depressing for me. It's like Game of Thrones in a fantasy world if everybody hated everybody and nothing happy ever happened anywhere ever. So it's kind of heavy to read. Didn't like it very much. And then I just started another series called Saga, which is a really horrible name. It tells you nothing about the series, but it came highly recommended. And there's plenty of laser guns and tits and spaceships and everything you like when it comes to sci-fi comic books, so yay. I only got the first volume, but apparently there's like 9 or 10, so I've got a ways to go. But I've been enjoying Saga for a little while now. Oh, what else? I discovered a new YouTube channel that I really like that I'm going to kind of plug here, called Mother's Basement. Probably the best anime oriented YouTube channel I've ever seen. Like, this guy goes into philosophy and artwork and talks about who makes this stuff and why it's good, why it's bad. He's got a hate boner for Sword Art Online, so I hope you don't like that show, because Jesus Christ, he will not shut up about it. But he's got a lot of deep researched reasons for why that show sucks. But he talks about a lot of other stuff, but just in general, it's kind of funny how much he pounds that into that Sword Art Online is this freaking antichrist in anime. But I'm getting back into some anime. I've since come out of my my high school, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, and anything else from the land of the rising sun. It's all awesome. I'm 31 now. I've figured out that 90% of anime is garbage. But I've been reading, what is it, How to Treat Magical Beasts. My wife and I have been reading that together because she's really into Monster Hunter, so she loves like monster lore and stuff like that. And the third volume came out like a couple of days ago. I already ordered it, but that's the manga I'm reading right now. What else? I'm also kind of playing the waiting game with a lot of different people right now. I didn't realize how many different tendrils I had in other people's lives until just yesterday, because I'm into several collaborations and several things with other people, not just YouTubers, but people in general. And I've done my part of all of these different projects, and I'm waiting on all these other people. You remember I mentioned before that I'm getting together with the Adventure Game Geek, Steven. It's a much smaller YouTube channel than my own, but he reviews adventure games. And I filmed my part of the collaboration like a week and a half ago, and the video is coming to fruition and should be posted up in the next week or so. And of course I'll put up a video telling you guys it's up on his channel and hey, go see it and stuff like that. And I think my channel is like 20 times bigger than his or something. He has less than 1,000 subscribers, but he's a raw talent that people need to pay attention to because he's going places and you want to be there when he does, trust me. But we're doing a game review of Darkfall 2 Lights Out, which is one of my favorite point-and-click adventures. And much as the name implies, Adventure Game Geek, he reviews adventure games from all through the 80s, the 90s, and forward. So things like King's Quest, Myst, the Darkfall series, just stuff you've never freaking heard of. And it's pretty light on the spoilers most of the time. And he's got a really catchy theme song. I love the theme song. But yeah, Steven has been an absolute joy to work with, and I can't wait for that video to come out because he's very talented. I wish I had his editing skills so I could do better game reviews, but he's got his own brand of like flat British humor that's really fun to listen to, and he's got it like just right on like the timing principle, because half of all humor is timing. He's got that kind of talent going on. So Adventure Game Geek, I'm plugging his channel. Go see it. So I'm waiting on him. Having finished my part of the collaboration, I'm waiting on him to finish his part and post the video. What else? Shield Maiden. Yes, what few of you have been listening to and commenting on Shield Maiden, thank you. That is a passion project of mine. And I've been having a lot of fun writing it because, let's face it, right now is the time to do superhero stuff during this greater, like, movie renaissance. Renaissance is actually a good word. During this renaissance of comic books and superheroes and superhero movies and stuff like that, everybody's getting into it right now. And Shield Maiden was kind of my interpretation of what I would like a superhero to be like. Minus a bunch of the stuff that's going on in some of the bigger companies. Like, I tend to stay away from explicitly superhero comics because there's so much crap going on all at the same time, all the time, that there's no good entry point. But, like, it's all about infighting right now with, like, the Injustice games, or with who's dead and who's not, and who's dead again, and who's ripping their face off to make this weird mask, like the new interpretation of the Joker. I was like, what happened to, like, here's the good guy and here's the bad guy, and then they fight, and then the bad guy goes to jail, and then, we get a little peer in on the superhero's regular life and stuff like that. Like, Shield Maiden is a very simplified, quit that printer, is a very simplified, like, superhero story. It's a feel-good kind of story, which is something that I really miss from, like, modern-day comics. So Wanda, who is Shield Maiden, is, a business owner. She has housemates. She has a boyfriend. She has a good sex life. She's got her finances in order. She's the kind of person that you could like vicariously live through and be happy about because she's doing so well. And she's a superhero, and she's got this mysterious benefactor, and she's taken out all these other bad guys and things like this. I wanted to make like a feel-good superhero story. And I know it's not going to be as popular as D&D stories, because that's kind of what my channel is known for, but give it a chance if you would. There's 2 issues out right now, which you can find on my channel. It's a playlist. It's an audio book, basically. But the first 2 issues are already posted, and then I'm waiting on a couple of editors and an artist right now. So issue 3 will hopefully be up in the next few days. My wife and my mother are doing some editation because both of them have experience both teaching and doing business writing and creative writing and stuff like that. So, and they're both women, which is good because most of the characters in Shield Maiden are women. So there's stuff that's got to be checked over, I guess. I'm also waiting on an artist. Those of you that have seen the first 2 issues of Shield Maiden on the channel, you see how nice the cover art is. Conrad, the guy that I hired to do the Shield Maiden cover art, did the first one in 24 hours. The first one he did for me was issue 2, which is why it looks so good compared to issue 1. He's like a proper artist that knows how women's bodies actually look when they're athletes, so I'm sticking with him as best I can. And issue 3 is taking a week or more, and I'm not really sure why, but I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm paying him very, very well to do these really good pieces of artwork, despite the low view count. So please go check out Shield Maiden. It's kind of my passion project right now while I'm resting from D&D stories. What else is going on right now? The Darkfall collab, Shield Maiden's being edited. Rob is still working on D&D stories. I've been seeing some negative commentary on there. It's not very nice. I understand people don't like change. I understand that you like, especially when you're looking at a show where you like the host, you like the characters, you like me, or you like whoever it happens to be, and then a new guy steps in, I don't like change. There's something wrong with the house. I don't like change. I'm just going to be upfront with you guys. If you don't have anything nice to say, please abstain. Because I'm getting sick of these, you're not T, what are you doing here? I just can't get into this, or God, this sucks compared to T. Grow up. I can't tell, I can ban you, but why? You're better than that. Quit it. If you don't like it, hey, that's fine. You don't have to watch it. You can unsubscribe and come back in October if you want to. I just feel like I need to address it because Rob's doing his best. He doesn't have 100 episodes under his belt. But, he's a Shakespearean actor. He's very nice. He is my friend. And I care about him, and I don't like people ripping him down. So please do your best to be mature and forthcoming, and be positive. Give him some positive reinforcement, or better yet, go to his channel, Performance Check. He's got a lot of Vampire the Masquerade stuff going on. You might like that instead. I don't know. He's a very theatrical storyteller. He's very different from me, and I understand that gives the show a different flavor, but try to at least be respectful, okay? Okay, so, lecture over. What else? I think that's pretty much it. I'm playing the waiting game on a lot of collaborations. I'm relaxing. I'm doing stuff that I want to do. I'm cleaning my plate off. I've got some new board games I want to review. Oh, and thank you for your patience, by the way. I know I tore down and edited and then re-uploaded like 5 or 6 board game reviews that were from years ago that just needed to, like, these aren't D&D stories, so I rip off the theme song and I rip off the credits and did a little bit of editing and then put the video up in my quick game reviews section. So thank you for understanding while I do some house cleaning and make the channel a little bit better, a little bit easier to access, because those of you that haven't been around the channel for very long, I did the original run of D&D stories was like 123 episodes or something like that, but it included things like video game reviews, board game reviews, etc., things that were not D&D nor stories. So when I did D&D stories retold, I not only retold the old stories better, but I got rid of all the video game reviews and board game reviews, and I put them in a different section of the channel, so that D&D stories is just D&D stories, and the game reviews can be over here, and the video game reviews can be over here. So everything works out a little better. It just took some tear down and fixing and putting back up, and I know those are re-uploads, and that's not fair to those of you that have been around for a very long time, but that's what I'm doing to improve the channel during my resting period, and I know you understand that. So I think that's all for now. I'll probably do another update video in a couple of months. Again, I'm probably going to be back in like September or October in terms of doing D&D stories. But until then, you can look forward to more Shield Maiden. I'm doing that on the side if you want to hear things that I have written. Like I said, that's kind of my passion project right now. I'm really enjoying writing this superhero stuff. And again, you can check out the D&D Stories Facebook page. They've got the Patreon stuff going on, all that blah-de-blah that all the other YouTuber big boys talk about. And I guess I'll see you guys again soon. So until next time, keep gaming.